They've told us in the basement, where the great library is, that there's this very dangerous book.
Okay.
Of course, since they've told us it's a very dangerous book, what do? We go down and we open it up. It turns out that the book is actually a jail for all the most dangerous monsters. So by opening up the book, we're now releasing the monsters. They come spilling out of the book, and we're going to have to beat them all. But of course, we're novice students, so we only have some very basic spells. So during the course of it, we're going to try to learn more spells. We're going to try to use all the elements. Each school person belongs to a certain earth, water, fire school.
Okay.
So there's 8, male, female of each one. You choose the one you want. It is cooperative.
Okay.
That bottom part gives you your starting hand.
Okay.
So it tells you the quantity of cards of each type. They're all going to be from the ones.
Okay.
But depending on your school, if I'm fire, I'm going to get 1 red 2. If I'm in the air school, I'm going to get 1 white 2. And so it is cooperative. So the other thing to see on the flip side of the cards talks about all your turns that you're going to do, how everything works. So it's going to start off here. We're going to advance the token to 1. It tells us here...
Concentration first.
Yeah, concentration doesn't matter on the very first turn because we haven't done anything yet, but we would refresh our spells. So as we use our spells, we turn them to show that we've used them. They come back to being useful. And then we do the monster phase. So we advance the invocation marker, which then tells us we then have to do what the monster says, destroy madness. So during the course of the game, 2 bad things are going to happen. The monster is going to create all these curses, but we're also going to start going slightly mad. So this gets removed. The game can end if we run out of madness. So by doing that, I've actually shortened the game.
Okay.
There are some things that will allow us to add some back, so possibly we might do that to try to give us more time to get through everything.
Okay.
This monster tells us that we're going to put out a red curse, a white curse, and a green curse. This also tells us whether we're playing easy, medium, or hard. In an easy phase, more empty spaces. So the very first round we go through, no problem, we don't have to add anything. But once we get down towards here, we've got to add extra multicolored curses before we put down the red, yellow. So we actually have to defeat 5 curses to put this monster back in the book. So it becomes harder and harder to do. From the 12 cards that you have here, you're going to draw 6. That's going to be your hand. So the fun part is doing the actions. There's 5 different actions. You can do as many of them as you can or want to do. So the first one is saying you can learn a spell. So it's telling me that I can use 2 of my blue cards to learn this spell. It gets added to become one of my spells. I can have a maximum of 5. So if I'm learning more advanced spells, I'm going to have to replace one of my others. This guy lets me have 6, so he may be good to have just because I get more choice of spells. So if I had enough to learn a couple spells, I can do that. You have these 4 in front of you.
But
everybody has that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just for reference. I mean, they're just so you can read it.
All right.
But everybody's got this exact same collection.
I see.
They're all white bordered spells, so that makes it easier for you to find them.
Okay.
So all these white bordered spells are exactly the same.
Okay, and then there are the... Okay.
Then you can cast a spell. So I actually pay the casting cost. So for 1 green, I'm allowing myself to draw a card. For 1 white, I can have somebody else take a turn.
Okay.
I can destroy a card, so once I start collecting madness in my hand, I can use it to destroy madness. And then this one's very important, the support card. So for your character, you can place 3 cards out here, which now become community for everybody to use.
Okay.
So if I need to destroy something, I don't have enough to do it, I can put 2 out here so that possibly somebody else with 2 can use it as if it's theirs to destroy. So that's what the destroying one is. You have to pay 4 of whatever that color is to get rid of it.
Okay.
Because on
Destroy
turn,
a course.
yep, on turn 2, this moves, and now we have to take the penalty for that. So if we can destroy it before we get there, no problem.
No penalty.
Sometimes you can't do it, and so you destroy this one, even though you're not there, but you know once you get there, it's clear space, but you try to destroy them before you get to them, if you can. And then the last one is heal yourself. Also a way to deal with madness. So you've got your 12 cards, you've got 6 cards, you can play any number of them. If I want to, I can do this up to 3 times. I'd have to play 3 red, but if it's something I really want to do, I can use as much of that I can to do something up to 3 times. I can do one of each, whatever works and makes sense. At the end of your turn, you're going to draw back up, so you have 6 cards.
Okay.
You've got your draw deck, your hand, and then a discard. So as you use stuff, it goes into the discard. Once you've filled up your discard, that gets shuffled, becomes your draw deck again, you start over again. So we're going to go through 5, then it goes here, that's saying we're flipping over. Then it's showing here, then we take the curse. When it goes here, these curses are now out here, we start taking the action. But if we're down here, as I said, we put these in front of it. So as we go through each monster, 6 cards in the deck.
Okay. So we go through the complete book like 6 times.
There's more monster cards. We did not put them all out, but you choose them. So each time you play, there's going to be different monsters in different order.
And then I see in the last, and then the last one is if I flipped it over, you won the game.
Right.
Okay.
Defeat all monsters in the book.
Yes.
Each player on top of it. Okay.
And there is a little forward thinking, so if you're facing this monster, this is showing you here. So if you know you're going to beat this one pretty quickly, you start looking and going, these are the curse colors coming up. So I want to make sure I'm starting stockpiling blue, white, and green. Red doesn't mean as much to me for this next monster. Once you beat the monster, then you get a bonus. If you don't beat the monster, it goes to the next one.
That's the penalty.
Yeah.
I see.
And so at the very last one, if you haven't beaten it, it's just sorry.
That's always the last.
That's the last card?
The last book side.
Yeah, the last book
Of
side
course,
is
the
like,
last, you have to
here
defeat
you have
that
it
monster to get this.
So as you get to these, you're taking the curses. You don't take them each turn, but just when you get to it, you know that one, on this turn, I've got to do that curse. That's going to apply to everybody. If we don't defeat the next one, the next turn we're going to have to do the next curse, and so they start piling up. So if all the madness goes out of the deck, everybody's gone mad. Or if you get to the end here and you haven't defeated all the monsters, then you lose. The madness, there's certain monsters that will bring it out, but let's say this was your hand. You've been playing them, and they're getting discarded, right? I now have no more to draw from, so I now have to shuffle these up, but I add 1 card to it.
okay, so it's just from the time the madness grows.
Madness grows. So when I get it, if I actually have a hand where I draw 6 madness, I've gone mad
Like
and I can't do anything.
Okay.
So you have to start playing cards, which is the destroy a card.
Yeah.
So
you
when you
can
have
destroy the
madness in there,
madness.
you play destroy the madness out of your card.
If you don't do something against the madness, it just grows and grows and grows in your deck, and then you're done.
Yeah, and it actually escalates because when you have these in your hand, it's one less thing that you can do. So not only are you going mad, but you have less actions you can take. Sometimes it'll cover up one of your support cards. So if you have madness here, and have room to put 3 support cards, now I can only offer up 2 cards in support. So different ways in different areas, madness can show up and create problems.
Okay, very cool, very cool. And,
Very
and
cool.
can you say when it's actually will be released in Essen?
Essen.
Essen it will be really released.
Yeah, they're aiming for a €35 price point.
And it's
Very cool.
with Heidelberg already, or just in English?
It's not anywhere. We're still translating the rules here. They
Okay.
finished the French rules just now.
Good. So it will
So
be
it's
in
about
English.
to going to press, and shortly thereafter it'll be in English.
Yeah, it's really great.